Hi there! Welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. So today we're taking a look into September and what September is going to be like for you. We have 3 different piles. In pile 1, we have this stone here. Pile 2. And pile 3. So, go ahead and make your choice. So, this is this stone here, and this, the Cosmic Slumber Tarot is what we're using in pile 1. Oh, so we have the 9 of Cups. And I just heard this energy of like you've had to kind of wade through a lot of things that weren't right for you in order to get to the thing that was. Um, it's like you've had to wade through the deep in a sense of like get through a lot of heavy emotions, work through a lot of heavy emotions, or just like pass up a lot of things that you intuitively knew weren't right for you, regardless of like how much it affected the other person or the other situation that you had to. It's like you had to keep going and kind of like say no to things that you didn't feel quite fit or were quite in alignment with you. And so this could have brought a lot of heaviness around you because it could have like disappointed certain other things that like really wanted to be it, if that makes sense, or really wanted to be like end game, or having to make some really tough choices, but knowing that it was ultimately right for you, or that you were ultimately, no matter how much you had to work through, no matter how heavy it was, how much you had to let go, you were ultimately moving into a direction to move towards something that would fulfill you in a way that you hadn't found yet, or just like fill you up or make you happy in a way that you hadn't experienced yet. So it's like you had to be really intuitive and have some like difficult conversations where again like the other person could have been really affected and this could have like really weighed you down for a time, but it's like ultimately you had to do what you felt was best for you, or what you knew was right for you, or it's like you had to continue to fight through like the heaviness or the struggle and persevere forward in the direction that you wanted to go in, or that you felt like would be more fulfilling to you. It was like something really, really tough that you've had to walk away from like throughout the summer. It's like you had to continue to push forward. So we have the Tower. So it's like you having to do this, it could have felt like with some of these conversations, part of the reason why it could have been so difficult, or there could have just been so much turmoil that came with it, is because the other party was very blindsided or taken aback, or this came as like a huge shock to them. Like they felt like everything was all fine. And then you're like, you know what? There's something missing for me. Like I have to keep going forward, like no matter how much it affected the other person, or like no matter how much this kind of like followed you around for a while. It's like you were willing to like put in the work and continue to move forward, in the pursuit of like moving towards something that was going to be more right for you, more in alignment for you, more emotionally fulfilling in some way. But again, it's like to the other person, it feels like this was like a shock and this came out of nowhere. So for you, there could be like you feel as though it's like, even if this is kind of like a long path, by yourself, or kind of a struggle, or you have to like learn to let go of a lot of these burdens on your own, you are willing to like do whatever it takes to move forward and like try to grow, past something emotionally, or just like mature in some way. um, but to the other person involved, it feels like so chaotic or out of the blue or sudden that they're like, oh, um, they're going to assume that there's like another person involved, or there's like a specific, like you have a very specific person that you're like already talking to or involving yourself with, that you're moving towards, or instead of like just seeing that this, like you just came to the realization that this is what was right for you, or that this other situation no longer was. And so you have to move forward to try and get through something or work on something on yourself in order to call in or move towards or find something that is more in alignment with you. So it's like you don't have bad intentions here. Um, but again, it's like they're just not taking it well, or they're not going to take it well. But yeah, and it's like for you, you've been like I picked up throughout the summer, like you've been kind of wanting to move in this direction for a while, or you've been thinking about doing this for a while. This is like no longer working for you. Like you've been really trying to put in the work in this other situation, and it's just not working out for you. So it's like for a while you've been like, okay, this is kind of what I have to do. But then to the other person, it feels so like out of the blue or chaotic or out of nowhere, unexpected, that they're like, oh, they must have been talking to someone else, or they feel as though there's some sort of like overlap to where you did something shady. So you may not have, but it's just like, yeah, they're like trying to find, it's like that's when you're in such shock that you're trying to find some sort of like justification to make sense of the situation, because you're just in this state of just like, okay, um why did that just happen? I thought everything was fine, because it's like for you, okay, this could have been coming up to where you're like, okay, this isn't really working. So you didn't want to just give up on it prematurely. So it's like you were like going in and putting in the work, and um, to them they were like, okay, this is going really great, they're making all these investments or doing all this stuff, or they see all these like changes or this growth. But it's like you were just like trying, like you were putting everything into, like it's you wanted to, like if it didn't work out, you wanted to know that you had done everything possible, or that you had like genuinely worked on it or given it a chance, or like you had done the most that you could to work on the situation to try and get it to a healthy place, or like a functioning place, or just like a more fulfilling place, like to try and make it just like feel right, or like work for you in some way. But it's like no matter how hard you did this, or no matter how intentional, or like no matter what you tried to change, it's just like it's still not working for you. So it's like you feel like you have to like persevere, or like weather some storm, or like no matter how uncomfortable the conversation's going to go, or like no matter how hard the other person's going to take it, or whatever chaos it's going to cause in your life, now it's like you have to be able to do this, even if this other person's going to try and like spin this narrative that you're cheating on them, or you're talking to someone else, or you were talking to someone else, or like say you move forward and then like in a few months you do kind of start talking to someone else, they'll all of a sudden try to be like, oh, um you did this because you were talking to them all along, whenever really there wasn't actually an overlap. It's just like you felt called or like pushed to go in this new direction, like I said, regardless of whatever like upheaval or chaos it was going to bring to the situation or your life. And you feel like confident to do this because again, it's like you put in the most work that you possibly could in the situation, or like you really saw it through and did like everything that you could to try and like fix it or save it or make it work for you in some way, and it's just like not working out, or there could be some like point, like climax point, or just something that finally happens, something that finally pops off to where there's like some sort of like end all moments where you're finally like, okay, this is like officially not working out for me anymore. I like officially have to make a change or move forward or do something else. Like, um, yeah, so we have I just saw like the use caution to see. I saw theft. So it's like, yeah, the other person is gonna think that there's something shady going on, or like you're being like stolen from them, or like, yeah, like they're gonna come up with like every possible conspiracy of like, oh, someone got to you, like, like, why won't you tell me whatever you really heard, that made you switch up, like they're just gonna like totally freak out, like they're not gonna be able to accept the fact that um you being like, no, I've been kind of feeling like this for a while, or like all summer, or like the past 3 months, or like the past 8 months, or the past year or something. It's like been kind of on my mind or whatever. Like they're almost going to like use like the effort that you put in, like in your mind you were trying to do the right thing and like fully see it through, or like I was saying, like fully put in the most amount of effort that you possibly could to really like feel secure that you gave it your best shot. They're almost going to try to like use that against you or weaponize that against you to be like, oh, you were leading me on or misleading me. So really specific and interesting message there. That, yeah, it's like that you had good intentions with that, but they'll almost try to like turn that against you to be like, oh, well, like they try to use that as an excuse as why they like can't believe that you have been considering this for a while. It's like to them that's like proof that you had to have like switched up for a specific reason, or for a specific person, if that makes sense. So really interesting. um so we also have boredom and keeping blinders on. This is my Four of Cups in the reverse. So that's again, it's like just them being in denial of the fact that, again, it's like not necessarily that you just got bored, but it's like the relationship just doesn't grow or progress at the rate that you like need, or it just doesn't like fulfill you in some way that it didn't anymore. It's like you've outgrown the situation in some way, you're ready to move past it, towards something that is just going to be more fulfilling to you or more in alignment with you and who you are right now. It's like that this other person is just going to be very stubborn and just like refuse to see that, if you will. Um, yeah, and then I also have my Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So it's like fatigue and wealth, are two cards that I'm seeing here. So it's like, say you have like a really nice lifestyle or like a lavish lifestyle, or it's like one of those situations where it's like you have everything that you could possibly want together. So from the outside looking in, people are like, you're crazy for just like walking away from this, or like the other person, they just can't understand it or wrap their mind around it because they're like, you have literally everything you could ever possibly need here in the situation. It's like all we have to do is continue to work on this or whatever, but it's like you're tired of like the rat race, or like you're tired of like the cycle you're in, or like you're tired of putting money and finances before like your comforts or like the connection in the relationship, or you put like your materialistic stability above your personal stability, so you feel as though like you have to walk away from this in order to be able to work on yourself. Because it's like you've almost kind of like lost yourself, or like given too much to like building some sort of lifestyle that you guys now have, to where it's like not fulfilling to you anymore, it's not filling you up anymore, it's almost like in a sense leaving you kind of bored. And so the other person can't understand this, like they can't wrap their mind around this, they can't possibly, it's like they cannot possibly understand this because they're just like, we have everything. Like we have the perfect life. Like, you know what I mean? We're totally set up. Like we're both in like power positions, or it's like you're a power couple, or there's like some sort of comfortability with like dual income or something. But to you, you're like, none of that fulfills me anymore. Like my whole life is centered around that and like involved on that and teetering on that. And I just like, it's like you don't really care about that anymore. It's like you want something deeper, or you just want more in life. You want to be more fulfilled. You want relationships that where you can connect on a deeper level, and you feel like they're taking care of you emotionally too. And so it's like you walking away from this just kind of brings the whole materialistic world that you built in this other situation down like all at once. And it's again, to the other person it seems like it's coming out of nowhere, and they just cannot possibly wrap their mind around this perspective that you now have. Like they just feel so blindsided that they're like, there's no way they have to be seeing someone else, they have to be cheating, like someone else got to them, or like they're crazy, they're on drugs, like they're, you know what I mean, like they're coming up with every single possible scenario to try and justify, because they're just like, this does not make sense, this is insane, like what's going on, like really funny energy. But good for you guys, honestly, this is cool. Like I fully, you know, you like braving this situation, no matter what kind of like backlash, or no matter how much it was going to affect the other person, or like knowing this is going to be difficult or messy, or I don't know, stuff like that is not easy. So sending you guys lots of support and care and love during this time. Olive branch, peace. It is imperative for your healing and soul growth to ask for forgiveness or offer forgiveness. Life is too precious to hold grudges or to feel you need to punish yourself. An opportunity is being created to move forward, to set you free. So, yeah, I feel like this is saying definitely continue to move forward, but like go about it in a way that is just like very respectful, and just trying to be like, no matter how triggered the other person is by this, just being like, okay, well, you know, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but that's not what's going on, and like I hope you can forgive me someday whenever we both like grown and worked on ourselves more in the future. Or it's just like, you know, being like, I hope that like you can just grow and become more open-minded and see like my spiritual personal intention, or how is this something I need to do for myself, and really try and highlight like that it's, you're not doing this because of something else or with like a negative intention. It's like over time that they may start to like soften up or see you or understand more like where you're coming from. It's just going to be like so initially shocking. um, Messing with fire, protection. Sometimes you need to walk away from situations not to get burned. When there is resistance from others to resolve matters, or if the energy is negative in your environment, it's best to detach and clear your energy field. So, this is like a very spiritual pile. So, I kind of want to get um, one of these oracle cards here, the mystical shaman. Ooh, we have the moon at the bottom. We have many paths and the sweat lodge. So I'm going to read these for you, close out this reading. Every 28 days, the moon manifests a steady progression from darkness to light and then back again. The phenomenon in our skies has a powerful impact on our human psyches. It offers us the certainty that after periods of emptiness and darkness, there's a light waiting so we can be reborn into a new place. This calls to mind a native African prayer to the moon, may our lives be renewed as yours is. The moon also has a strong influence on the ebb and flow of the waters of the earth. The same power, in turn, affects humans' feelings and emotions and mirrors their rising from or hiding back into the unconscious. The moon spends equal time in the dark as it does in the light of the sun, and now it comes to remind you of this balance. Have you been too focused on outer achievements and productivity or social engagements, or have you spent too much time hidden from the outer world, not wanting to interact or show your face? Meditate on the significance of the moon cycle and let it gently guide you out of your bottomless depths. Head back into the world of outer expression and connect with others. Let it help you make time for yourself, your feelings, and your essential human and spiritual needs. So, yeah, that line. Have you been too focused on outer achievements, productivity, or social engagements? But then also, have you spent too much time hidden from the outer world, not wanting to interact or show your face? So, Spirit's definitely saying have a balance. This card calls you to go on a journey of renewal. Just like the moon does every month, so can you get unstuck, whether from a specific situation or life in general. For this, you need to make time to be with yourself without the distractions of modern society and have the courage to look at the unwanted or unembraced parts of your being until you arrive at a place of resolution. Shamanic lore explains that the finest treasures of humanity are hidden where people are most afraid to go. So I feel like this is where you're at. Like you kind of realized all of this and you're kind of on this journey right now that may not make sense to a lot of people from the outside, but sometimes the inner journeys, it takes a long time for that energy to start to manifest in the 3D. So we just have to start doing the work before it makes sense, you know? All paths lead to spirit. What you bring to your journey is what will determine if yours is a path of suffering, a path of wisdom, a path of bliss, or a path of loss. Consider the traveler who met two stone mans. He asked one what he is doing, and the mason replies, I am squaring out this stone. He asked the other who is doing the exact same thing and gets the reply, I'm building a cathedral. One man has a job and the other man has found his work and calling. One is part of an endeavor much greater than himself. Be sure you pick a path with a heart. Yes, I feel like this is what you're doing. It's like you feel like you've just been squaring out the stones and you don't feel connected to whatever you're a part of anymore. And so it's okay to like move forward and find something that you feel is your calling and that you feel really passionate about, that you can put your whole heart into. So I definitely feel like that's what's happening here. Your call is now to take a big, bold step and leave the beaten path. Heaven and earth are conspiring on your behalf to support you in this move. Do not dally lest you miss your moment. It's time to sail into the uncharted. Be sure you intend to both your path through this earth as well as your journey through the stars. You have outgrown your current situation and risk losing your way in your own backyard. You're being called to step out of your comfort zone. Respond now while the call is still a gentle whisper. Even though the woods look thick and impenetrable, venture in and let nature guide your steps through the dark until you reach your destination. Remember, if you do not know where you're going, any path will take you there. The sweat lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. Volcanic stones are heated in a fire outside, then brought into the lodge and placed in a shallow hole in the center. Participants sit in complete darkness around the red hot stones to sweat away old habits and beliefs and heal disease. When you return humbly to the womb of Mother Earth, you are offered second chances. This is a time to journey inward into the dark and hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle, observe what emerges, and without judging it, invite it to bring you its gifts. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. Life is offering you a second chance. Take it, since this chance may not come your way again for a while. Mother Earth is calling you into her womb to invite you to incubate as long as you need for a spiritual rebirth. Gift yourself time to be with your darkness, your fears, your pain, and your seeds of beautiful potential until you come out of the other side wise and full of creativity. Ooh, so yeah, that's a really cool message here. So, as the cards say, be bold, be brave, and definitely protect yourself from anything that you could need to protect yourself from. So, yeah, that's what we have for our first pile. If you watch this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in a more personal reading, you can use the link in my description. And I hope you have a really great day. Thank you. Okay, so pile 2, we had this pink stone and the 8th house tarot. So we're looking into September. Any messages you need to know for September? So we have the 5 of water. So you could be going through a period right now where you're having a hard time you're struggling with regrets, struggling with something that fell apart. We have the Knight of Fire on the bottom. So it could have been a time like you could be struggling with like we just had this full moon, so like memories could be popping up of times where you kind of let your passions get the best of you, or you got kind of like led astray um, by the way that you felt, or you like really acted without thinking in some way. So either in this period, either in this energy right now where you're having a hard time like letting go of that or moving forward, or okay, so it's like if you had someone else that you were kind of like playing mind, or that um, maybe that's it since I misspoke, but I was trying to say if you've had someone else who was kind of like playing mind games with you or being unfair, only giving you like this certain perception or this certain picture of things, and so you didn't have the full information, or they were purposely like playing with you in a way to get you to react. It's like anytime you let your passions or your emotions get the best of you, or you let yourself get like really mad and like act out of your anger, or like move forward and act without thinking it through, how it was going to come across, or like without, it's like you're just so like, the reason why you're having a hard time letting it go, it's like you're so upset that you weren't being able to see how someone else was like playing with you, or like manipulating you in a way, or just like you, okay, it's like now that all the dust is settled and you look back on the situation, you're like, dang, I wouldn't have had that reaction, or I wouldn't have freaked out like that, or I wouldn't have like actually done that if I could have like had more oversight in the situation and realized that there was a reason why I felt that way, or there's a reason why I was reacting like that. Like there's someone else here kind of like playing with you or pushing you by like only giving you a certain picture or perception, like a certain like bit of information, and it's like gets you really hot and heated and like in this protective energy, like feeling like you need to like defend yourself or defend something that you care about, and so you move forward really passionately, and then later you realize someone else was like playing you in order to do their dirty work, or trying to get you to like act without thinking in order to make yourself look bad. um some sort of like, the reason that you're so upset or that you're having a hard time letting it go is because you're just like, man, if I could have been able to like see through that, or see like what was going on, or it's like you realize like the reason why this person was playing that sort of game with you is because they knew that they couldn't actually compete with you, or it's like they had to kind of like put you down, or like put make you feel like not confident to be able to move forward and actually be able to protect yourself or defend yourself in some way, because it's like you were a threat, and so they purposely had to like skew the situation and like put it through one certain lens or perception in order to then get you to like react a certain type of way, in order to be able to paint a certain type of picture of you or something. It was like to take you out of your power, and you kind of like fell victim to the situation. So then you acted out of character, or acted in such a way that kind of like set you back in some way, or like brought the energy back on you, or you almost kind of like fell into someone's trap, made yourself look bad in like exactly the way that they wanted you to, so they could paint a certain like picture or story about you. Um, and so it's like you don't really care what other people think. It's just like it kind of bothers you that you like couldn't see through this here. And so that allowed this other person to like win, or like get the best of you in some way, or like have some sort of power over you. And so now you're in this like place of like not really knowing how to take your power back, or like not really knowing where to go from here, not really knowing how to move forward from this. Um Yeah. So with the King of Air, there's like some mind games, and it's like you're realizing the other person that you were up against here, like whoever did this, it's like they're very good here. Like they're very, very calculated, or like they're very intelligent to where they can come across like they really care about you, or like they get you to kind of like open up or trust them, because yeah, they seem like really compassionate, or like a safe person, because they're like your friend in some way or something. um there's this energy of like they know exactly how to like move here, communicate, present themselves, or how to act in order to get like other people to make their moves for them, like get other people to do their dirty work, like I said, or like it's like they aren't going to like do something to make you look bad, because then that would make them look bad, so then they had to manipulate you to make yourself look bad, so they're getting you to do your dirty work against yourself in this case. So yeah, it's like they're very like with this crown here, it's like they're like a key player, they're like skilled or versed, or they're good at this, right? Like they are like one step ahead of others, or they're very powerful, they're very influential. It's like they've been getting away with this for a while, so it's like you didn't see it coming, or Yeah, you could have been just like more naive in the situation, or they like triggered this um like very protective instinct in you. It's like you could be like this very caring person, or someone that you were very close to here. So you had this like strong intensity or desire to like be really protective of this person, or you were kind of putting them on a pedestal, if you will. Or yeah, like in order to feel secure, you felt like you needed to have some sort of like connection or relationship with this person. So it's almost like you kind of would have done anything for them, but you didn't see that as like you giving your power away to them. It's like you just really, really cared about this person. So it could be some sort of like authority figure around you or something. I'm hearing like some sort of community like leader or something that you really trusted or looked up to, or that you like it made you feel more secure within like your position in the group or whatever you were involved in, to have like a close bond or connection with them. But then it's like they kind of like used you for their own agenda, and then like turned you around as the scapegoat in order to like make you look bad, and then like take the energy, like the negative energy off of themselves. And so it's like it doesn't bother you that that happened. It's like you don't care what other people think about you. It just bothers you that you didn't see it coming, or that you like genuinely cared about this person so much, or you like relied on the relationship emotionally, or you actually kind of like believed that they like cared about you too, or that like you feel you're upset about the fact that you like didn't see it coming, that this was eventually gonna like get to this point, or that this was their end game. They had this agenda eventually, like all of this stuff they were building you up for was all gonna like burn down, or it's like eventually the flame was gonna burn out. It had nowhere else to go. The writing was on the wall. It was obvious tactics what they were doing here. So there's this energy of like, I can't believe I didn't see it. Like I can't believe I like let them, I like gave them my power. It's like you're mad at yourself. But yeah, like don't be mad at yourself here, because like this other person is could be just like in this, yeah, they're like in a, like an elevated status to where like a lot of other people look up to them or respect them too. They seem to just like, yeah, they could have like a lot of people. It's like the energy that they give off, they seem so like cool, calm, collected, respectable. It's like a lot of people are like looking to them for like approval, or they seem like they have it all together, like they have like everything that you could want, or like they're so like happy or satisfied, or like they're to some sort of like point or level um or status within their lives, to where then other people are really like looking to them in some way here, or like boosting them up emotionally. Yeah, but that's what I'm getting here, is like the part that bothers you the most is that you like let someone get the best of you, or like let someone else like get you to kind of like act out of character in some way, or to like act without thinking. It's just this energy of just like, if I would have just taken a few seconds to um like realize what was going on, I would have seen right through this, and I would have never like given this person so much power over me. And then um yeah, it's like whatever happened here just like wouldn't have happened or transpired, or it's like you wish you could have just like seen through them, or seen their true intentions without it like getting to this point, or like getting to the fallout that it did, because now it's like actually created like real damage or chaos. But it's like you're in this energy of just like really kicking yourself for not being able to see something, or not being able to see something about them, or just like the fact that you like got so vulnerable, or you really actually cared so much about this. And so you're having a hard time like seeing the ways in which you can still move forward, or you can still like repair your life, you can still like connect with others. It's like you're just having a hard time moving forward past this energetically in general, because again, there's just this energy of like, dang it, I can't believe it's like, yeah, it's almost like you wake up with anxiety about it or something, to where you're just like, I just cannot believe, like it just bothers you that you like You just like didn't see something about it, or again, like you like gave your, yeah, that you were the one to like make yourself vulnerable in some way, like it just really bothers you, which I totally understand. I've been through that before, but definitely try not to be too hard on yourself here. Messing with fire, protection. Sometimes you need to walk away from situations not to get burned. When there is resistance from others to resolve matters, or if the energy is negative in your environment, it's best to detach and clear your energy field. That's really good advice. Fork in the road. Choices. You are in a situation that requires you to make an important decision to either go back to what is comfortable or go to what is new and challenging. Both have pros and cons, so it's a matter of what will help you grow. So we have grounding, bottom. We have 18. It's all good. And perception. So I'm going to read all those for you. As humans, our body are of the earth. It's a natural inclination when we experience uncomfortable emotions or energy to ground it out, much in a way a ground wire works with electrical current. However, with so much in our modern lives that causes us to be disconnected from Creator, we tend to gravitate towards false grounding. Overeating, smoking, drinking, and recreational drugs are common ways some try to ground. These items are of the earth, but they are not the earth. This is not a true grounding, and as such, it cannot sustain. It doesn't last. What ends up happening is that, as with most experiences that are false, we need more and more to achieve the same result. To truly ground and connect to both the earth and Creator, practice consciously connecting your energy to the earth. You should not be getting your energy outside yourself, but directly from the divine. This is achieved through meditation, energy work, and mindfulness. Finding a way that works for you and practice it. By drawing this card, you are being asked to look into areas of your life where you embody false grounding as a coping mechanism. So definitely false grounding will like if you feel yourself stuck in like anxiety loops, like I was saying, like literally like waking up like stressed out or upset or frustrated about like things from the past that you can't change, you may need to look into kind of like fine tuning your practices here in order to help you to like clear some energy and truly be able to move forward from something and forgive yourself for something here. Every perception you have in your lifetime has the potential to be a teaching tool. By remembering and embracing this idea, the situations you encounter become less fraught with unneeded emotion and drama. By not attaching labels or expectations to people and situations, you allow the pure divine energy to flow unimpeded. While you may have little control over what happens to you at times, you always have control over how you react. Do you react on impulse, strike out at others when you feel hurt? Do you crawl into your safe place when the world seems mean and hurtful? Face this challenge in your life head on. Be thankful for the opportunity to experience whatever it is that is happening. Set yourself a goal of learning from every situation in your life. Find that silver lining. It's there. So, yeah, there's just a shift in perspective needed. So, this is the it's all good. So, realizing like this is cheesy, but every single thing really does happen for a reason, and it really does happen to kind of set you up and help move you in the directions that the divine would want you to be in, or set you up for the things that are meant for you. So really just try to trust the journey. With energy, sometimes a slight shift in perception is all that's needed. Remember, nature strives to retain balance. It is only our perception and labels that cause us to think otherwise. Is there a situation in your life that you are viewing from a very rigid perspective? Are you certain that you are at the center of all the drama around you? Perhaps cultivating the ability to step outside of the drama and see the issue from every different viewpoint will shift your judgment of this person or situation from intolerable to simply it is what it is. It won't remain for so long. Letting go of the tether that holds you to a certain viewpoint also frees the situation up to go the natural way to getting back into balance. So yeah, it's so much easier said than done, but yeah, with a little bit of energy work and just a little bit of even like trying to meditate or to give yourself a positive mantra or something can help to start to shift that energy and get things moving so that you can start to move forward again and see the really positive things that are still around you. So how you still have a lot of potential to co-create with others in a positive way. It's like this isn't the end, not all is lost. It's not all over, your life's not over. It may feel like that right now. So I'm sending lots of love and healing to this pile. This was our pink stone. So I hope you have a really great rest of your day. If you watched this far into the reading, I really, really appreciate it. If you would like something more personal, you can use the link in my description. But I hope you have a great night. Alrighty, so pile 3, add this stone here, put that over there, and we're using the Sun and Moon Tarot. And pile 3, and we're looking into September. We have the Six of Swords. Okay, so right away when I saw the Six of Swords, I heard, okay, so you could be the type of person who is like so overly focused on, like you could kind of be a perfectionist here. Like you could be the type of person who's so overly focused on making everything perfect, making everything fit, like everything balance perfectly or everything be like in its place. Like you have to have everything just so things make you feel more comfortable when they're in order and in an order that makes sense to you, right? So I right away I just heard this energy of like being really overly focused on like making things perfect, or making sure everything fits like just the way that you want it to, or the way that you feel like it should. It's like everything has to be in this aesthetically uh kind of like, pleasing, like everything should kind of fit together and work together in a way that would like make sense at first glance, or from an outside perspective or something, to where everything like fits together really cohesively and flows together really nicely. This is what keeps you like relaxed. Um but for whatever reason, right when I looked at the card, I just heard, um it's like, I don't remember the exact words that I heard, unfortunately, but wanting to keep everything together to a fault, or like having everything be into balance, or having everything like fit together just so, or like look a certain type of way. So it's like you put so much into energy into making sure that everything is perfect, um, to the point where this is like kind of weighing you down from being able to progress forward at the rate that you would want to. So you might be in an energy right now of like, why am I stagnant? Why am my goals not manifesting? Why am I not moving forward at the rate that I would like to see myself? Why am I not free to like move forward? Why are things not like taking off for me? And it's because you're very weighed down by this like perfectionism of like needing everything to be just so, or to like fit like perfectly, or just so in some way that it's like pleasing to you. It's almost like bordering that like um compulsive like loop of just like making sure every single aspect or facet of something is like perfect, or all fits together exactly in the way that like you need it to in order to feel like satisfied. So that prevents you from being able to move forward like at a quick rate, because you spend so much time like focus on the little details of something, which is good. It's good to be meticulous and intentional, but in your case it's like weighing you down or burdening you to where you're like putting yourself in a place of like almost putting yourself in a position of like oppression, because you're being so strict and so rigid with yourself. You're like not letting yourself up, or like giving yourself a break, if you will. um yeah, with the King of Pentacles, it's like you have very strict goals, very strict deadlines, and you don't budge on yourself. Like no one is harder on you than you, is what I'm hearing. It's like you almost weigh yourself down with your own perception, or like your own expectations of where you need to be, how you need to be accomplishing something, like what the status that you need to be at. But then you're not getting to that status or that level because you're so focused on like every little facet or aspect or detail that goes into it being like just so, or just so perfect, so that everything like runs smoothly or works smoothly, or is, like I said, just like so perfect, um that it's almost like too heavy for you to like really get something off the ground. Or again, too, it's like you are progressing, but it's just at like a very slow rate, and so you're in this energy of like being confused why something's not working more efficiently or moving more quickly. You're like, oh, I'm so efficient, why isn't like my endeavor like moving at the same rate that I do, or something. Like you're confused or taken aback by, yeah, so you could be going through some sort of like disappointment actually right now. With the Five of Cups, it's like something has like fallen apart or isn't really working out. And so, yeah, you're like, why is this happening? Like you're, but then it's like, instead of being able to then just like move forward and go with like what does work, or like fix something in like an efficient way, it's like you're overly like stuck in some sort of like compulsive loop of like overly focusing on like the fine details and trying to figure out like exactly what went wrong and exactly why something didn't work out, and like make it like just so perfect that it's like you're so hard on yourself. You need it to be like so, so, so perfect that again, it's like stopping you from being able to see like what is working or what is good. And it's like if you were to just take like what is working and go with that, you would be able to move forward a lot more quickly. But you're like overly burdening yourself because your expectations are like too high, right? You're taking it too seriously, like you're too rigid about your thought process. Which it's a lot easier said than done. Like it's harder to let go or to see things differently than it is said, you know. The Princess of Cups. So yeah, there's this need to like rise above some sort of like heaviness here. It's you're weighing yourself down or like burdening yourself, holding yourself down. So it's like rising above this. We have the turtle. So literally like you're moving at like a turtle's pace. And there is that like, oh, the turtle wins the race, slow and steady wins the race or whatever. But in this case, it's like um, you're so weighed down or bogged down that like the turtle like um is just like never gonna make it out. Like you need um it's like you have to allow like spirit is trying, it's like this is spirit, you're the turtle and this is spirit, the girl. Spirit is trying to come in and help you and like pick you up and move you along at a faster rate or like take you somewhere else in order to help you like move at a quicker rate here. But you have this like I'm getting this, it's like you feel uncomfortable with if there is some sort of help that's coming or yeah, some sort of vehicle of change that's arriving to help the momentum, or there's some sort of different direction or change up that you can do in order to start accelerating at a quicker rate in another direction. You feel uncomfortable with this and you're almost like stagnating and like overly focusing on things that you don't need to worry about instead of like going in the direction that you need to go in. Because you feel uncomfortable. It's like again with this like obsessive compulsive type of like not being able to let go of the things that you feel like aren't like fully completed or like perfected to like where you need them to be in order to like let it go, but you're just like so hung up on that that you're not moving forward. So spirit's trying to like help carry you forward to be like, okay, come on now, or like push you or nudge you along, and you're being very like resistant to it because you're uncomfortable with letting, you're uncomfortable with letting certain things go, or you're uncomfortable with like the journey being a little bit imperfect or messy, or it's like, you know, if you just kind of like take off and go, then yeah, for some reason you have a hard time with that. Like you don't really know how to handle like the thought of like it being messy and everything not like fitting together exactly in this perfect way. And you're like, well, if I would just like take the time to like focus on these little details now, but then that is like what's jamming you up from, it's like you're spending too much time doing that and then you're not actually moving forward or making any change or like getting something off the ground, getting into the next phase. It's like you're too bogged down or like weighed down. So then you're never going to see a way out. And it's like eventually you'll just give up or get lost or just like not have the stamina to continue to push through. So spirit is trying to like help show you something, or yeah, so you have to like let go of this like uncomfortability with like doing things in this different way. So we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. So literally there's this goat trying to talk to this person. So it's like spirit's literally trying to communicate with you to show you exactly how you could be have victory or like get to where you want to be. It's like in your mind you're having a hard time letting go of these like fine little details, but when you're at this point of victory or like getting to where you want to be or your end goal, you're not going to be thinking of those every single fine-tuned little detail that has been hanging you up or like holding you back or weighing you down. So spirit's been trying to communicate that with you to be like look, we promise you when we get you, or when you get to where you're trying to go, you're not going to care about all this stuff. You know, like this is just slowing you down or weighing you down or holding you back, or like once you get to the end point or once you get to where you were trying to go, you're going to realize that stuff didn't matter. It didn't affect like your ability to win, or it didn't affect like the way that other people saw you once you got to a certain point, or those were just like the small details that don't matter, you know. And so it's not crucial or key in like you being successful. It's just like little things that you're having a hard time letting go of. So yeah, spirit is like trying to get through to you or trying to communicate this to you, but again, it's like you just feel very uncomfortable by this. You're very resistant to um like taking some sort of outside advice or having spirit kind of like pick you up and carry you into a different position or something. Rooted awareness, awakening. You came into this lifetime with your wisdom key to unlock your highest timeline and purpose. When you trust that you are living your soul's purpose, you awaken memories from previous lifetimes that align you to familiar pathways. Trust your instincts because you have done this before. We have mountaintop balance. Carrying the burdens has made you wary as you traveled up the mountain of responsibility. You have the choice to view your life from a higher perspective. When you let go of control, delegate responsibility, and focus on things that hold value, life feels more balanced. So, yeah, Spirit is kind of urging you to see this or to make these choices, but again, it's just feels very uncomfortable to you. Like you feel like, okay, but if I don't focus on all this stuff, it's not going to get done, or it's not going to get done right, or it's like you have to be willing to trust others or to let other people help you or support you, or just know like that's not going to matter in the end of whether or not they do support you or not, or something. It's like that's not the key. It's like you know deep down like what's actually key information or what's actually crucial. So focus on that. Like give the most of time and attention to like what really matters. The key elements amplified. When you combine all of the elements of nature into who you are, magic happens. Trust this lucky card to show you everything is in alignment to expand. Now is the time to embark on an incredible journey by merging your past, present, and future as a multi-dimensional person. So I'm going to read this other one again because I feel like it reiterated like everything I said basically. Carrying the burdens has made you weary as you traveled up the mountain of responsibility. You have the choice to view your life from a higher perspective. When you let go of control, delegate responsibility, and focus on things that hold value, life feels more balanced. So, yeah, like I was saying, it's like overly focusing on these like little things is almost like weighing you down or preventing you from being able to get something off the ground in the way that you would like. And so you are definitely meant to like climb mountains or move mountains or just make some sort of change in the situation. And you're not going to be able to do that without being able to like let go of control of every single aspect of the situation, right? But again, it's easier said than done. It's a very, very uncomfortable process. So we have the sweat lodge. Ooh, and the ghost dance. So I'm going to read those for you. The sweat lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. Volcanic stones are heated in a fire outside, then brought into the lodge and placed in a shallow hole in the center. Participants sit in complete darkness in the hot red stones, sweat away old habits and beliefs, and heal disease. When you return humbly to the womb of Mother Earth, you are offered second chances. This is a time to journey inward into the dark, hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle. Observe what emerges and without judging it, invite it to bring you its gifts. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. Life is offering you a second chance. Take it, since this chance may not come your way again for a while. Mother Earth is calling you into her womb and inviting you to incubate as long as you need for a spiritual rebirth. Gift yourself time to be with your darkness, your fears, your pain, and your seeds of beautiful potential until you come out of the other side free, wise, and full of creativity. And then we have, that's our bottom of the deck energy. So that's kind of where you're coming from here in the situation. And then your card, we have Ghost Dance. The ghost dance of the American Plains Indians united the spirits of the living with those of the ancestors to bring peace to the world. When the ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. When we hold them responsible for all that is wrong with us today, they haunt us. Honor the spirits of the ancestors and receive their lessons and gifts. This includes honoring your own past lives. The ancestors have a message of healing and a powerful medicine to offer you. Create a sacred moment at your altar, light a candle to them, and let their wisdom infuse you. At this stage in your life, you are done repeating their tragic stories. Step into the abundance that is offered to you. Receive the gifts of those that have come before you and write a new story for your life. If you are trapped in a vicious cycle of nostalgia, mourning a lost youth of opportunities missed, it is time to make an altar for the ancestors. Collect a few photos, light some incense, offer sage, and open the windows of your house to release them to their destiny and to the wind. Be wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime, as the people we loved or hurt have a way of repeating in our lives. There is no learning for you there anymore. So those two cards in a row that say that you guys should light a candle, and like burn a candle and like release things slash kind of ask for wisdom and guidance. So I think that's definitely a very key, powerful message. For you guys. And yeah, it's, you have the chance to, be really, really successful in something. It's just being willing to kind of listen to the guidance of what's around you, spirit, ancestors. So I hope you got a good message out of this to help prepare you for September. If you watched this far into the reading, I really, really appreciate it. If you'd like a more personal reading, you can click the link in my description. And I hope you have a really great night.